What if I told you that one of the biggest invasions in history depended on someone who was already dead? They knew it would be a massacre. The island was heavily defended, machine guns in position, artillery ready, soldiers waiting for the attack. If the Allies invaded that place, thousands would die in the first hours. But what no one imagined was that the greatest weapon of that invasion would not be a tank, nor an airplane, nor a bomb. It would be a corpse. In 1943, World War II was reaching a decisive moment. The Allies needed to invade Europe from the south. The real target was Sicily, a strategic position that would open the path into Italy and weaken the Axis. The problem was simple and deadly. The Germans were already expecting it. Sicily was the most obvious target, and because of that, it was also the most dangerous. A direct invasion would mean sending soldiers straight into a trap. So, inside a closed room in London, someone suggested something that sounded completely insane. For a few seconds, no one spoke. The idea was simple to explain and absurd enough to seem impossible. Create a British officer who never existed. Give him a name, a rank, a life story, then place fake secret documents in his possession, and finally, use a real body. Dress the corpse as the officer, put it into the sea, and let the enemy find it. The hope was only one, that the Germans would believe the lie. But it could not be just any lie. It had to be perfect, because if it failed, the plan would not only collapse, it would confirm exactly where the real invasion would take place, and that could cost the war. The British started with the most delicate detail, the body. It had to look like someone who had died recently. No obvious signs of violence, nothing that would raise suspicion. Then they created the character. His name was Major William Martin, a respectable officer of the Royal Navy. They gave him everything a real person would carry in his pockets. Personal letters, old receipts, everyday notes, a photograph of his girlfriend. Nothing looked too military. Nothing looked fake. It felt human. Then came the documents. Papers written to appear confidential, but not exaggerated, detailed enough to convince, simple enough to feel real. In them, the Allies revealed their plans. According to those documents, the invasion of Europe would not happen in Sicily. The real target would be Greece. Sicily was only a distraction. Exactly the kind of information a spy would die to obtain. Now came the most delicate step of all, where to leave the body. They chose the coast of Spain, a country officially neutral, but known to host German agents watching every detail. If the body appeared there, the chances that the documents would reach the right hands were high. And that is exactly what happened. The body was found. Spanish authorities collected the documents, and as expected, the Germans gained access to everything, every letter, every page, every detail, and the more they analyzed it, the more everything seemed legitimate. The officer was real. The story made sense. The documents looked authentic. There was no reason to doubt. So the Germans made a decision that would change the course of the war. They moved troops, reinforced positions in Greece, redistributed their defenses, and weakened Sicily, all because of a man who never existed. Without knowing it, the Nazis had fallen into the perfect trap. When the Allies finally invaded Sicily, they faced far less resistance than expected. The defenses were reduced. The troops had been moved away. The invasion succeeded. Thousands of lives were saved. And what is most impressive is that the plan worked so well that the Germans continued to believe the lie even after the invasion had begun. They thought Sicily was still just a distraction. That gave the Allies a priceless advantage. After the war, the details of the plan were revealed, and the world discovered something shocking, that one of the greatest military victories in history was not achieved with brute force, but with creativity, with psychology, with a lie so carefully crafted that it deceived one of the most powerful armies on earth. A corpse won a battle. A fictional man saved real lives. And a plan that seemed ridiculous proved that in war sometimes the most absurd idea is the most brilliant.